Welcome friends, this is Vishal Nadapra, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Dr. Subhash Technical Campus, Junagadh. Welcomes you in a fluid lecture series of fluid mechanics. In the last chapter, which was the fluid kinematics, we have seen types of flow line, which consist of path line, streak line, and stream tube also. Then rate of flow, continuity equation in Cartesian coordinate system for 2-dimension and 3-dimension also. Then we have seen lots of types of flow, which was steady flow, unsteady flow, uniform and non-uniform flow, 1, 2, and 3-dimensional flow, irrotational and rotational flow, turbulent and laminar flow, compressible and incompressible flow. After that, we have seen a velocity potential function, stream function, relation between these two, and then we have seen the flow net and the uses or application and limitation of the flow net. Today, we will going to start with fluid dynamics, which is nothing but the branch or the field of the fluid mechanics in which we can study or we will consider the force which causes the motion or the velocity and acceleration of the flow. So after that, we will see the Euler's equation of motion, and Bernoulli's from that we will derive Bernoulli's equation of motion. So let's start. In fluid kinematics or simply a fluid hydraulics, we study just study of the motion of the fluid, and we will not consider any type of flow. We just consider it on the motion, say velocity and acceleration in fluid kinematics. If we consider the motion, if we consider the force which causes the motion, it is called as a dynamics. Or if we study about the fluid, it is called as a fluid dynamics. So we are going to start today with the fluid dynamics, and this force is responsible for the flow, or we can say this force is responsible for the motion, say velocity and acceleration. And when we correlate motion with the force, how can we forget the Newton? Say more specifically, second law of Newton. Second law of Newton, which gives us the relation between force and motion or the acceleration, which is Fx is equal to m into ax, which is nothing but the force in the x direction equal to the mass times the acceleration in that direction. So it gives us the relation between the force F and motion, say acceleration here. When we talk about the force and more specifically with respect to the fluid, there are many types of flow called as a gravity force, many type of force which are gravity force, pressure force, force due to viscosity, force due to turbulence, force due to compressibility. These all are forces are almost always present. Maybe possible then one or more than one forces are not considerable, or we can say it is neglected because of less effectiveness or predominant of any other force. So for the sake of simplicity, mostly in most of the cases, the gravity force and pressure force are generally considered, but not every cases, in most of the cases. But when the laminar flow is considered, viscosity is come into effect, then velocity is very high, then turbulence force is also plays an important role. And when we talk about or derive the equation of the compressible flow, then compressibility or the force due to compressibility sorry is also play an important role. So in that case we sorry have to consider this all type of forces, but for the sake of simplicity in this chapter we will consider only two forces, which is gravity force and pressure force. So let's start and try to derive the motion or the Euler's equation of motion. So for that, let's consider a very small volume with the side Lm, and the cross-section area is a cross-section area of dA. Let's suppose very small area, so just call it as a dA. And this is the direction of flow, and this you can say this is the streamline in this direction. And this volume or the control volume it has some inclination with respect to vertical downward direction called as a theta. So this is the basic geometry of the figure. Now let's consider the forces acting on this control volume. As always, as usual, we consider only two forces, pressure force and gravitational force. Pressure force is always act perpendicular to the surface. So here we will consider the pressure force P in the opposite direction. Let's suppose the intensity of pressure is P plus dP. We don't know whether it will increase or decrease, but let's suppose it is something different with P. So it is the P plus dP. dP is the small variation in the pressure. And another force is the gravity force, which gravity force is nothing but the weight force. Weight force, say, it is a very small volume. So consider as a dW, it is the weight of this volume, which is the volume times, sorry, specific volume times the volume. So specific volume is rho g times the total volume is dA into ds. dA is the cross-section area times the length of this control volume. So here we will consider only two forces, the pressure force. Let's suppose two pressure force on the side L, one, and on the other side M. So on the side uh, L, let's consider intensity of pressure is P, then the total pressure force is P times the area, which is here dA. So PdA, it is the pressure force acting on the side M, and on the opposite side, say on the M, again, let's consider the definition of pressure force, which is the intensity of pressure times the area. Here the area is again dA only, because we have considered that it is a perfect rectangle control volume, so the area will not change here. And intensity of pressure we have considered a little bit different, which is P plus dP. So the opposite pressure force is P plus dP into dA. We have taken is negative here just because the direction of pressure force is opposite to the considered direction. So the summation, subtraction of all these two forces, it is a negative of dP into dA. So this is the net pressure force acting on this control volume. Now let's consider about the weight force, or simply a weight of the volume or gravitational force, which is nothing but the specific volume, say rho g times the volume here. But here we have to consider the weight force in the perfect vertical direction, and our control volume is something inclined to the vertical direction. So we have to consider this inclination, and in that case, we have to take a two component. One component which is the perpendicular in the perpendicular direction, and another component. Sorry, friends, it is something. Okay, let me erase first, then we can derive. Okay, so for the vertical downward force, which is weight force, we have to consider the two force acting perpendicular to each other. One is the perpendicular to the direction, and another is the parallel to the direction. So here, for the consideration or for the calculation purpose, we will concentrate only on this component of force, which is the parallel to the direction of flow. So this will be a cos component, and this will be a sine component here. So we'll consider the dW into cos theta, and dW is nothing but the rho g times volume dA into ds times, as it is the cos component, so it is cos theta. For the removal of the cos theta, or for the consideration of this angle, let's consider again the distance between this point, say entry point and exit point. Let's consider the elevation difference in between these two is nothing but the dz here. Dz is the nothing but the difference between elevation difference between inlet and exit, or the entry section of the control volume and exit section of the control volume. So by this geometry, by this simple geometry, we can derive cos theta is equal to dz by ds. So subtracting cos theta by dz by ds, we get this relation, which indicates the volume, or value of the gravitational force acting on this control volume. Now let's consider the mass of the fluid element, which is nothing but the rho times the volume, which is d rho into dA by ds. And the SLSN is the derivation of the velocity with respect to time. So it is the dv by dt, and if we as v is the function of space and time coordinate, so velocity dv by ds times the ds by dt. So dv by ds times the ds by dt, it is the specific derivation of the space coordinate with respect to time, which is nothing but the velocity. So SLSN here is velocity times the dv by ds. Now put by considering all forces and mass and SLSN, let's now recall the Newton's second law of Newton, which is the force equal to mass into SLSN, and put all the value here. So forces, we considered only two forces, a pressure force and gravitational force, say simply a weight force. So minus dp into dA, again minus rho g times volume, say dA into ds times dz, equal to rho into dA ds times the velocity into dv by ds. And after simplifying this equation, let's consider how to simplify. First, uh, remove dA from all the sides, so dA will cancel out. Then other parameter that we cannot remove, but here if we take this two component, this two term on the right hand side, then this will be a positive value. And after the simplification, we get the equation like this: dp by rho plus v into dv plus g into dz equal to 0. And this equation is nothing but the Euler's equation of motion, which gives us the relation between pressure, velocity, and elevation difference. By integrating this equation, or integrating the equation of Euler's motion like this, say dp by integration of dp by rho v dv plus g dz equal to 0, we get the relation p by rho g plus v square by 2g plus z equal to constant. So this equation is nothing but the Bernoulli's equation. By integrating the Euler's equation of motion, we get the Bernoulli's equation. Now let's understand the Bernoulli. What does the Bernoulli's equation understand, or what is the unit of all this Bernoulli's equation, all the term? Then each term here you can say p by rho g. If we p by rho g, unit of p by rho g is nothing but the length, which is a meter or centimeter, linear unit. And again for the v square by 2g, it is also a length, and for the z, it is nothing but the height. So it is the also again unit of this term is also meter. So here you can say all the term in the Bernoulli's equation have a unit of linear unit, say meter or centimeter, and the summation of all these three are constant. And as Bernoulli defined, these all terms are nothing but the three head. Why it is called head? Because these all have a unit of meter or centimeter, it's a linear unit. So P by rho g is nothing but the pressure head, V square by 2g is the kinetic head, and Z is the datum head. So what does all these three indicates? So simultaneously, all these are indicate the energy of a particular fluid flow, or the energy of a particular fluid flow will remain constant. That is the Bernoulli's equation. So first is the kinetic head, pressure head, which indicates the energy because of the pressure, and then the kinetic head, which indicates the pressure kinetic energy ultimately, and Z, which is the energy possessed by the fluid because of the elevation. So this is the Euler's equation of motion, and from that we have derived the equation of Bernoulli, or Bernoulli's equation of energy. So that is all for today, friends. What we have seen is Euler's equation of motion. First, we have seen the definition of fluid kinematics, fluid dynamics, and then we have seen Euler's equation of motion. Then from that, we have derived the Bernoulli's equation, and after that derivation of Bernoulli's equation, we have seen the three head of that equation, which ultimately indicate the energy of that particular fluid. So that is all for today, friends.